We're talking about children who can't speak for themselves. I have struggled with this bill. I have struggled to understand why this is necessary.
For us. So, Crystal, lawmakers just finished voting on this legislation.
Yeah, Matt, minutes ago, debate today took nearly the entire 90-minute window for the bill. In the end, it passed with 77 votes in support, 40 against. Some who oppose the bill say this will have lasting effects. The bill, called Fairness in Women's Sports Act, prevents men and transgender women from participating in school and collegiate sports designated for women. It also states the school or institution can request a health examination and consent form to verify a student's biological gender, something members of Equality Florida say will have lasting effects on a child or teen.
Besides being overtly discriminatory, is alarmingly intrusive to young people and so harmful to their mental well-being. This actually requires proof of their reproductive anatomy, a physical inspection, which is not included in a normal sports physical, hormone tests.
Debate lasted for hours Tuesday in the House before coming up for a vote today. Representatives on both sides speaking out.
This particular bill is not about exclusion, and it is not about discrimination. This bill is about a biological and scientific difference between men and women.
We're talking about children who can't speak for themselves. I have struggled with this bill. I have struggled to understand why this is necessary.
The NCAA sent out a statement Tuesday echoing its support for transgender athletes and said it may reconsider where its tournaments are held depending on legislation against transgender athletes. Right now, Florida has already committed to more than 50 tournaments with the organization that brings in millions in revenues to the state. A similar bill in the Senate was scheduled to be heard by the Rules Committee today, but was postponed and won't be heard this week. No word on when the bill will be back on the Senate committee agenda. Matt.
Just hours ago, the Florida House passed the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. It prevents men and transgender women from playing in female school and collegiate sports. News 6's Nikki Zizaza is live with new reaction on the vote. And what comes next, Nikki?
Well, Lisa, the bill preventing transgender athletes from competing in female sports took center stage in the State House today for more than an hour before the bill passed. And now lawmakers against this measure say they're going to have to strategize before it's signed into law.
Legislation that would block transgender females from playing on high school and college sports teams that align with their gender could soon be heading to the governor's desk.
Boys and girls are different.
After this heated and at times emotional debate on Wednesday in the Republican-led State House.
You call it policy, and I call this bill about humanity.
The bill won approval by a vote of 77 to 40, with one sole Democrat supporting the measure.
People have job loss. People are dying from COVID.
Lawmakers in support of trans rights filed more than a dozen amendments trying to defeat it. Representative Kristen Arrington telling News 6 the bill is openly discriminatory.
It was very, very disappointing. As you heard from myself and others, this bill is bad on many levels, besides the fact that it's discriminatory and against transgender kids.
We're talking about children who can't speak for themselves. I have struggled with this bill. I have struggled to understand why this is necessary.
This comes as the NCAA announced it will move events out of states that discriminate against LGBTQ people. However, members of the GOP-controlled House moved to push the bill through, saying it would harm biological women.
At the end of the day, this bill is about protecting the opportunity of our female athletes.
But what Arrington finds most troubling is a portion of the bill that could require a student to undergo a medical exam to prove birth gender if questioned.
If anyone challenged their gender, they would have to submit to these invasive tests and have everybody in the school know, then be expelled from the team. So this would be horrible to all women.
Now it's unclear when this bill will head to the Senate, where a similar bill awaits debate. Now it was scheduled to be heard in committee, but has been postponed. Live in Orange County, Nikki Zizaza, Getting Results, News 6.